that the largest ever nuclear test held in Australia was detonated from the Montebello Islands. And it sparked panic. People thought, for a short while anyway, that it had been a nuclear accident. It actually wasn't. The British knew how big it was going to be. They just didn't tell the Australian government. And so when it was very big and when the fallout was detected by a miner using Geiger counters in Western Australia, the acting Prime Minister of Australia at the time sent a cable to Winston Churchill back in the UK saying, "What the bloody hell are you doing?" And that, of course, was very secret until it came out in the Royal Commission. So there's a lot to talk about here. There was a total of 12 mushroom cloud tests held in Australia, 3 at Montebello, 2 at Emu Field, and 7 at Maralinga. But there were hundreds of radiological experiments as well. Very, very dirty experiments that left a lot of contamination. So that's a big part of the story too, which I'll get to. Britain made the political decision that it was too risky to test these weapons on its own territory, even though physically it was possible to do so. And they did have a look at the Hebrides and other areas of the UK. But they sensed, and they probably tested this with populations, that it was too risky politically. And so they even made a ruling that these weapons could not be tested on their own territory. So they had a former empire, as you would be aware, and they went looking. So they took the path of nuclear colonialism, and unfortunately, they landed upon Australia. They tried plenty of other places, including Canada. They went a fair distance down the road to organising to test in Canada, particularly at a place called Churchill, which I think is kind of interesting, which these days I believe is a sanctuary for polar bears. It would not be now if those bombs had been tested there. There were many places they wanted to go, but they landed on Australia. And so hence the story I'm telling today.